Yeah, somebody can tell I'm on 6, yes. Very, very, very low. I can hear you very, very vaguely.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on our FS1 coverage, and tonight, all dressed up for the event at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. In tonight's Meadowlands pace, we'll see Confederate, who's 6-5 on the morning line, was a very short price last time out and got the job done, but will face some tough competition, including the now horse Cannibal. Won the Meadowlands Pace elimination one last week and is 4 for 4 this year. A nice matchup and a lot more coming up. Our program, as always, brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. The Meadowlands looks like the place to be tonight. Live look at the Ferris wheel. Wonder who's at the top now enjoying those sights. I see a bounce house down there as well. We're coming to you live from Saratoga Racecourse. A little bit of Saratoga after hours for this evening's coverage, but so excited to have this great racing coming up this evening. And as mentioned, looks like a terrific night, beautiful weather. Luckily, it seems that the rain has held out. I'm your host, Acacia Clement. Thank you so much for joining us for this special Meadowlands Pace coverage. We are knee-deep already now in the historic Saratoga Racecourse meet. And again, coming to you live from Saratoga tonight, as we will be covering things a little bit down the way in New Jersey. Here's a look at the Meadowlands Pace field. Will be race 11 on tonight's program, the final 3-year-old open. As mentioned, 6-5 on the morning line is Confederate, as this is a horse who was 1-5 last week, getting the job done at the Big M, has been in terrific form recently. And to bring in all of his great insight this evening, I welcome in Paul Verderosa here with me. And Paul, really looking forward to this Meadowlands Pace field, particularly seeing Confederate do it again.
Yeah, this is a big night. It's what we waited for. Went through the eliminations. Now the stars are out to play for the big money tonight, so it should be exciting to see all these horses in action.
We'll see what happens when they line up this evening and who gets the job done in the Meadowlands Pace. And just for those maybe who don't usually tune in, why is this such an important race?
So this race has such a storied history behind it, and you have to go through eliminations to actually make the final to play for the big money. And last week, we had 2 really good eliminations, and this one here features my boy on the front end, just about ready to get sucked up Christchurch. He was in a wicked speed duel with a long shot, and he got picked up here by Confederate, who is the horse to beat in here, and he drew off of a perfect trip in here. But I give credit to Christchurch because Christchurch hung in there late. He got a little short, but with the fractions, it was expected. El Rey put in a much better run to get up for second late.
Christchurch and Confederate will rematch, as will El Rey, who finished second in there. We'll see them coming back once again. Confederate, again, he was the big favorite last week, too. And this is a horse who's been in great form. He has a great record altogether. And Tim Tetrick, his driver.
So in this elim that we have here with Cannibal, this horse was actually a surprise. He's getting faster, he's getting better, he's peaking at the right time. He sat a good trip, and the biggest question in this elim was he going to be able to handle the step up in a field like this? And he clearly did, getting up in the final strides. over a really solid horse.
And that was Cannibal, as you mentioned. So different eliminations coming in. Cannibal 4 for 4 this year. And again, a horse that's been in really good form will now face some even tougher horses, including Confederate, as mentioned, driver Tim Tetrick, as we welcome in our eyes and ears at the Meadowlands. We always appreciate their wonderful insight, Gabe Pruitt and Jessica Otten. And guys, really looking forward to the talented field we have lined up for tonight's Meadowlands Pace.
We are looking forward to it as well. We had those, of course, 2 eliminations last week where we saw some pretty heated fractions. Of course, Cannibal upset in the first elimination, and then Christchurch led every step of the way in that second elimination, going 52 and change to the half. And, you know, most horses don't live to tell about that, and he did, and he only got beat a length there. And, of course, Confederate picked up the pieces at the end of the mile. Thought there was 2 very good eliminations. We got 10 solid horses coming into tonight's race. I do think Confederate is the one to beat, but it could be wide open.
Yeah, it really is, Jess. There's no question Confederate is the horse to beat. You just took a look at that replay rollback from his elimination. Really geared down the last eighth of a mile, according to his driver, Tim Tetrick. He said for a moment he thought he geared him down too quickly because it got a little closer than he expected late. He's going to be a big favorite, but we really haven't seen Confederate take a lot of pressure. So what's going to happen if the trip just doesn't work out perfectly for him? Maybe he's driven a little more aggressively tonight as a big favorite in this race. Now you're taking a look back at Cannibal. Cannibal got a perfect trip last week. He got to track, draft. He was second over in that lively cover flow. Ended up tipping 3 deep, and he nailed Vukafalis there in the final step.
Yeah, and you know, I was able to talk to Brett Pelling earlier on in the week, and he was telling me about Confederate and how good of a horse he is just to take care of himself in between starts. He had 3 weeks off in between the North America Cup final and that Meadowlands Pace elimination. And, you know, he just took so much good care of himself. He only trained him once, and then he said he probably wasn't going to train him this week.
And the style of racing that he has, you know, he's not a front runner, at least at this point, typically. He likes to loom, he likes to draft, and he likes to pounce when it counts. So I think that just takes, you know, he's a little easy on himself to begin with, and he's a tremendously talented colt.
And Brett said that, you know, he does like to track down horses, but if all else fails, you know, Timmy can put him on the front end. We saw that in the North America Cup elimination, of course, and I'm really looking forward to these races tonight. We've had plenty of great stakes action on the card so far tonight. Plenty more to come, including that $688,000 Meadowlands Pace. Acacia, it is going to be a great night.
It is, Jess. Can't wait. And given the fact that I'm in red and seeing Jessica and Gabe, I feel like it's got to be a good evening because we got the wardrobe memo and we won't talk about the blue decision.
Yeah, clearly
okay.
I didn't, apparently.
It's okay.
Odd man out, man.
Here's a look at what's coming up. We have 4 races on the program for you tonight, including that Meadowlands Pace we were just discussing. You have 2 divisions of the Stanley Dancer and the William Houghton Memorial. Fast main track we're dealing with at the Meadowlands. As always, today's race is brought to you by our friends at Claiborne Farm. You can play all of the action with Naira Bets. We hope that you are playing along. You can do so. Sign up, get started for a new account over at Naira Bets and get up to a $200 deposit match when you make your first deposit. Use promo code SPA200. Check out NairaBets.com or download the app today to get started. We'll kick off our live racing action with a 1-mile trot in the 10th tonight, as Jessica touched on already. Some great racing that's been going on over at the Meadowlands. Our program will start here in the first division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial, and 3 to 5.
Yeah, Air Power.
This is that's right.
That's
This
right
is not
field.
the right field.
Yeah.
Air Power is your favorite as the 2.
Yeah, there's Air Power,
There
actually.
he is.
We're sure that's him. So,
Yes.
So last time out in the Reynolds, he's much the horse to beat in here. He had too much work to do last time out in that race, and he settled for second in there. The good thing about Air Power is he's progressing well in 2023. He looks like he's going to be a serious contender in this division as the year continues on. You can see he just left himself too much to do there. You know, he had speed last year, but he was a horse who kind of had some aches and pains too. So they started him back a little bit earlier, and he's gotten a little bit stronger. And that month off is by design from the Melander barn. They do that a lot. They like to give their New Jersey sired horses 4 weeks off to get them ready for races like the Reynolds and like this going forward. And you could see he was a hard charging second in here, finishing up well.
Big performance that day for a horse that's been remarkably consistent lately. He's a short price on the board. Do you trust him in here, or do you have interest in some others?
I picked him on top in here. I thought the other horse that was logical was the second choice on the morning line, the 7, Oh Well. I mean, the horse was the 2022 Mohawk Million champ. I know the horse hasn't won yet in 2023, but but finished second in all 4 starts. So one more step forward is needed here because they're all marching towards that Hambo on that first Saturday in August. So that's what the goal is here, is tuning them up for that.
Yeah, we'll be bringing you the Hamiltonian coverage on our show as well. For this first live race of the evening, though, let's go back to Jess and Gabe. Guys, Air Power, a short price right now. Can he get the job done?
I think so, and I think it's deservingly so. A short price. This is the first of 2 Stanley Dancer Memorial Divisions, of course. Preview for the Hamiltonian that we'll see the first Saturday in August 5th. Air Power, Gabe, picks up Dexter Dunn tonight after trotting home in 25-3 last time out from an outside post in the Reynolds. But I thought it was a very good prep for this race. Obviously taking a lot of money with Dexter behind him, and just the way this guy's been racing.
Yeah, and sometimes, Jess, a short price is better than a long face. So I think we're just going to have to tee up Air Power here. I think that he's just much the best at this spot. I think right now he'd be the favorite for the $1 million Hamiltonian, which is going to come up on Saturday, August the 5th. And as you said, big driver change here. Dexter Dunn has been the Dan Patch leading driver in North America for 4 consecutive years. He gets his first assignment here aboard Air Power. A big change by the connections. Dexter's the man. He's got a good post here at a very nice colt.
Gaines Hanover ships down from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Of course, he was a 2022 Breeders' Crown champion. It's the first time we'll see him on U.S. soil. We saw Sylvia Hanover earlier on in the night, first time U.S. soil. This guy's been, 1 for 4 on the season. He just got beat in the good times. They gave him a little time off before that overnight race. They added Lasix this year, gets a perfect middle pack post. And I love to see Louis Waugh down for the drive.
Yeah, Louis in town here, his only drive of the card, in fact. So we thought enough of this colt to ship south of the border, so to speak. Jess, 10 of 12 on the board, tremendously talented. A perfect post here. He'll start from post 5.
It is the first of 2 Stanley Dancer Memorial Divisions. It is a field of 9. Air Power, the heavy favorite in here. Here's Ken Workington with the call.
$38,500 sponsored by Lexington Selected Yearling Sale. Hamiltonian eligibles line up here 3 to 5, 2 Air Power, the Sire Stakes champion, 7 to 2 on the 5 Gaines Hanover, also at 7 to 2 the 7 Oh Well. They're on gate. Race 10. Here they come. Off and trotting, Oh Well takes them out of there with Gaines Hanover flashing a bit of speed. Kierkegaard from the inside with Air Power on the inside, getting away in the top 4. It's French Wine on 3 wide from 5th as Father Stash cuts the corner 6th on the inside, followed by the Gruffalo, the rear of the field. It's Air Power on the inside. It's Country Dagger then. On the inside comes What an Angel, and the trailer is the Gruffalo at the opening quarter. Oh Well, and Tetrick there in 27-3. It is Oh Well in the hot hands of the Bionic Man, leading the way. Kierkegaard K second by 2 lengths. Gaines Hanover, the Canadian champion, 3rd. It's Air Power and Dexter Dunn biding their time 4th right now. French Wine gapped a bit in 5th here. Then comes Father Stash and Country Dagger, and then What an Angel and the Gruffalo. They start to pair off stride goes Gaines Hanover. Gaines Hanover went off stride. He's taken out of it. So it's Oh Well dictating soft fractions here. 56-3, 29 seconds, second quarter for Oh Well by a length and a half. Stalked all the way by Kierkegaard K. Air Power has advanced into 3rd, edges to the outside. French Wine 4th on the inside, and Father Stosh is 5th. And then it's Country Dagger 6th on the inside. And What an Angel and the Gruffalo at 3 quarters. Here comes Kierkegaard K, and Åke Svanstedt gives him the cue out of the pocket. After Oh Well, Kierkegaard K, Air Power on the outside. 124-1 into the stretch drive. A well-rated Oh Well. Kierkegaard K on the outside trying to come at him, but he was rebuffed. And off stride Air Power. Air Power broke. French Wine now 3rd through the stretch. Oh Well all the way. It's Oh Well. Oh Well at 7 to 2 with a mild upset. Oh Well, then Kierkegaard K, French Wine, and Father Stosh in 151-2.
He'd been looking for that first win of 2023 and did so in style. Oh Well, getting the victory. Big story, though, Paul, on Air Power. We saw break stride late in the game.
Yeah, that's a rare break for Air Power. Got a little steppy there and just kind of lost stride. But you know what? Was not going to be a threat to your winner tonight. And Oh Well, that was a much improved effort. Needed that one more step forward. And here's a horse who was a Mohawk Million champ. So this horse does have plenty of backclass as we march towards the Hamiltonian and starting to stamp himself as a player in that group for that race.
coming off of 4 second-place finishes, gets the victory today. Oh, well, as Gabe, I think, of course, the story about Air Power, but also, oh, well, the big step forward we saw from him tonight.
You know, it really was, Acacia. Air Power, we'll get to the favorite there first. He made that break in stride down the stretch. You know, he's been lightly raced. The connections have been really managing him very closely. You know, you start to wonder, does he possibly have some issues, and they're just trying to really spot him in the right spots. Maybe easy to say now with a little hindsight. He had missed a month prior to his last start. But this night's all about, oh, well. You know, it had a little bit of second-itis. He'd been a beaten favorite 3 out of 4 starts. He'd been second in all 4 starts. Hot and humid night here at the Big M, and we had some rain showers move through earlier right down the road. I thought he was very good here on the front end. Snaps that losing streak, and this is a colt that is headed to the Hambletonian. He's sired by Muscle Hill right here in the state of New Jersey. Plenty of pedigree there, guys. This guy was a $530,000 yearling purchase.
And it's paying off now, Gabe. Oh, well, getting the victory as he touched on Hambletonian, and, of course, a lot of these with their sights on some bigger fish to fry down the line.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. And like Gabe also mentioned with Air Power, lightly raced. It's at night. There's a bigger crowd tonight, and if you noticed, his head was cocked down looking at the grandstand as well. So there was a few issues there that I'm sure they'll correct because he also has a lot of talent. But take nothing away from your winner tonight. Now stamped himself as a big player with that win.
Oh, well, getting the win in the first division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial. When we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about trainer Brett Pelling, who sends out Confederate, the favorite in the upcoming Meadowlands Pace, a very special horse for a talented trainer. More on that story after this.
Ever dream of owning your own racehorse? How would you like to get in the winner's circle? With the #1 harness racing partnership in the U.S., VIP Stable. There's nothing like the thrill of your horse coming down the stretch. To find out more, call VIP Stable at 877-VIP-WIN1 or visit us on the web at www.vipstable.com. Turning horse racing fans into racehorse owners. Be a winner.
Some of the top horses in the sport are born and raised in Pennsylvania.
It's really the world capital of standardbred breeding. Breeders from other states locate in Pennsylvania.
It's not a hard sell. I mean, we have a whole mess of clients that send us horses to take advantage of the program. The racing opportunities have been, continue to be, and into the future are very strong here. This is where the top stallions are. A lot of the top mares are here in Pennsylvania. It's perfect.
You're watching America's Day at the Races, brought to you by Standardbred Breeders Association of Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us on our FS1 coverage. We just saw the first division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial, where, oh well, took them gate to wire and stamped himself as a big player in this division.
And it's funny that you could look at this horse and say, well, he was the other Marcus Melander horse in there because he had air power as well.
Yeah.
And he's really not the other horse. I mean, he's just as talented, being a Mohawk Million winner. And Marcus still has a say in the other division later on with a couple of horses in there too, so he holds a pretty strong hand, and the Bionic Man gets a win here with Tim Tetrick aboard.
I love the nicknames of all the drivers in harness racing.
We'll get you to learn them.
Yes, I feel like at the end of our coverage at the Meadowlands, there should be a quiz.
We could do that.
I think we should make flashcards. Yeah. Bionic Man Tim Tetrick with the victory. Oh, well, taking them gate to wire. $9.20 winner as he was able to turn around after a little bit of seconditis. Kierkegaard K with a nice performance. And I should have had French wine somewhere in the top three there. Of course, my husband, French, and my father-in-law, a big connoisseur of French wine. So it should have been the hunch bet a little bit.
Yeah, a little hunch bet for you.
We love that. In any event, Tim Tetrick, the winner, the winning driver with Oh Well. He's standing by with Jessica.
Standing by with winning driver Tim Tetrick. A couple of stakes wins on the night so far tonight, Timmy. Oh, well, finally gets a win in the column for 2023. You left the great gate aggressively. Was that your game plan all along?
Well, we got to be forwardly placed, and, he was up on the gate, and he wanted to leave, so I let him march right out of there. And if somebody would have come, I'd have followed him, and I got decent fractions, and he did a really good race.
Speaking of decent fractions, did you know where air power was at going through the first turn?
No, I didn't. I got right out of there. I knew Aki left with him on the inside of me, and air power, I've driven him. He's not a huge, quick lever, but I figured he was setting third or fourth, and, it was going to be a race for him to either come first up or do whatever, but I was really happy with my horse.
A little equipment change tonight. Do you think that really helped this guy kind of stay focused in the lane?
Oh, no doubt. He usually looks at a lot of butterflies, and he's hard to make pay attention. And every race, he's just been right there. He's always wanting to hang out with his buddies and talk to him coming down the lane. But today, he was all business.
Definitely looking forward to the Hamiltonian with this one.
No doubt, yeah.
And coming up in the next race, Confederate. Of course, like I said, you had a couple of wins so far on the night tonight. What does that do for a driver, confidence-wise, going into these big money races?
What's better be winning than not getting any checks and not doing any good, and you're double guessing yourself all the time. But this is going to be a tough race. I still don't know what's going to happen yet. I'm sure a lot of the other drivers are the same way, and we've all got our plans, but, got to be ready to call an audible.
Nice job and best of luck in the pace.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tim Tetrick and Oh Well take the first of two Stanley Dancer divisions. We'll send it back to Paul and Acacia.
Jessica, thank you. Tim Tetrick off to a good start already, and he will be the driver for the favorite Confederate coming up in the Meadowlands pace. As you heard him just saying to Jess in that interview there, Paul, Confederate, he said, I don't know how it's going to play out, which is interesting given how short this horse is on the board.
Yeah, and not only that, but I like how they mentioned they don't know what the drivers are going to do. I bet you there's a lot of conversation going on in that driver's lounge right now. Either that or they got their game faces on. But either way, the pace might get pretty hot in here, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely, and Confederate, the favorite, trained by Brett Pelling, who comes from a small town in New Zealand and maybe is known for being a very intense guy, a hands-on trader. But one thing we know is for sure is success breeds success. Learning a little bit more about him and his charge, Jess caught up with trainer Brett Pelling earlier this week.
Elimination winner Confederate stamps his way to the Meadowlands pace. Let's go back to his elimination race. What was going through your head as they were going up the backside? Because they were putting up some pretty hot fractions.
All I was kind of thinking really was, is Timmy going to be cute and go in, or will he come to the outside? I mean, that's really, I thought that was the only decision to be made, and I could see the horse was just traveling great. He loves bowling along at speed, and they were getting there on time, and it was just really what direction he was going to go.
I talked to Timmy after the race, and we all seen this horse chase down horses in the stretch, but he did put him on the front end in that North America Cup elimination. What do you think his best quality is?
Definitely following speed, from what I've seen, and obviously I didn't race him last year at 2, and Timmy's the one who said to me that he can do anything. He said if he has to move him to the front, he moves him to the front. But I'm sure that acceleration that he has when he comes off a helmet, I mean, it's it looks great, it's flashy, it's right now, and I'm sure that's something he can definitely benefit from. What
was your impressions going into the race? He had a couple weeks off from that North America Cup final. We were talking earlier, he's just a horse who takes good care of himself.
Yeah, no, he's very, very athletic. I mean, he's not big, but he's a very, very athletic horse. And he came out of the North American Cup absolutely perfect. And it was just a matter of really just, you know, giving him the time that he needed. I mean, he didn't need to go qualify a race or anything. I mean, he is a naturally fit horse.
And a perfect middle pack post going into the final. How do you like that?
Yeah, no, it's a good place to be. You know, a couple of the rabbits missed out on getting in. So I don't know if we'll see any Haas in 52, but, you know, he's going to be, no matter what, you know, he's going to be close. Or, you know, if Timmy decides it's not setting up the way he wants, you might see him in front.
You have a couple of Meadowlands Pace trophies in your trophy cabinet. What is the key of getting a horse to peak at the right time for this race?
To me, it's just really not overdoing it. You know, I know what happens after this race. I mean, I've always felt that after the Meadowlands Pace, it just turns into a war of attrition. So, you know, to get them to peak and be the best that they can be, the Meadowlands Pace seems to fall around that 5, 6, 7 start window. I know the year of COVID with Papi Rob, I mean, we're a little bit hurt there. We didn't have as much racing opportunity. And I think that was a little disappointing. This year, the fact North American Cup went early, we got to travel. These horses are fit now.
Well, we wish you the best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Some great insight from trainer Brett Pelling as we take a live look at his charge Confederate as Brett Paul is looking for his 5th victory in this Meadowlands Pace.
Yeah, and not only that, but 28 years ago to this date was when he won his first Meadowlands Pace too with David's Pass. So that's pretty cool as well. And he's won over 1,500 races at the Meadowlands too. He's been just a standard there for a long time and does a tremendous job with his horses. So he does a great job, and he has 2 more Meadowlands Pace wins than any other active trainer out there.
Pretty amazing stuff, and he's got a big chance to add another trophy to that cabinet, as Jess was talking about tonight. We'll discuss a little bit more about Confederate and his other competition in the upcoming Meadowlands Pace. It's time for the feature. There's Confederate, there's Brett getting ready for the big dance coming up. More discussion. We'll get some trackside reports from Jessica and Gabe. And the Meadowlands Pace coming up after this on America's Day at the Races.
DeMarchelier offers breeders a rare opportunity as the only son of Dubawi standing in Kentucky. Dubawi, one of the world's most celebrated stallions, is now a sire of sires. With a picture-perfect pedigree, this son of Dubawi brings one of the world's most potent bloodlines to America. Now his progeny are bringing top dollar in the sales ring. DeMarchelier, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Become a member of the United States Trotting Association and take advantage of special benefits including pathway savings, member pricing on American Horse Council publications, and discounts on products and services, and so much more. USTrotting.com is where you'll find entries and results from all the racetracks and get behind-the-scenes stories as the USTA visits farms and stables before major races such as the Hambletonian, Little Brown Jug, and Breeders' Crown. It's easy to join. Fill out the new member form on our website or call our member services department at 877-800-USTA.
Canterbury Park's BCBC Handicapping Contest is September 13th. $1,000 entry fee and $1,000 live bankroll. Play on expressbet.com or at the park. Win your way to the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge or the National Horse Players Championship in Canterbury Park's BCBC NHC Qualifier Contest on Wednesday, September 13th. Powered by ExpressBet.
Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program in Oxford, New York was created in 2018 by Wanda Palacini to provide training to transition for finding homes and new careers for horses. Horses are started with groundwork and then ridden in an arena before moving on. Horses at Purple Haze are then evaluated and adopted out based on abilities and temperament. If you have a horse that you care about, or if you are looking for a great pleasure horse, contact Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program at 518-669-2715.
You're watching America's Day at the Races, brought to you by Naira Bets. You can bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Visit nairabets.com or download the app to get started. Taking a look at the field for the feature tonight, Meadowlands pace coming up. It's a 1 mile pace, final 3-year-old open. And Confederate 3-2 right now on the board. Short price 7-5 now. Tim Tetrick, the driver, as we head over to Jess. Jess, loved getting a chance to hear some honest conversation with Brett Pelling, but you have another special guest coming up next.
I do have another special guest. It's Adam Bowden of Diamond Creek Racing. You had a grade 2 winner overseas on the thoroughbred side yesterday. 3 in the Meadowlands pace final tonight. Things are going pretty good.
Yeah, very good. Having 3 homebreds in this race here, and then breeding a horse overseas on the thoroughbred grade 2. I mean, everything seems like it's going well right now.
Let's talk about your 3 finalists going into the Meadowlands pace. Confederate, Cannibal, of course, both of those winning their eliminations, and Christchurch going to the half and 52 and change, and living to tell about it, and only got beat a length. I mean, coming out of those races, what were you feeling?
I mean, how could you not be happy? I mean, 2 elimination winners, and then, like you said, Christchurch raced huge, and he might have been the most impressive out of the 3. So, and they drew good tonight, and they're in good hands.
And what does it mean not only to you, but your team at Diamond Creek, of course, 3 homebreds for your farm coming into this and being so involved in the sport?
Yeah, it's a team effort from the girls at the farm to Marcus, the racing manager, and Sean is here tonight. So, we have 6 or 8 people here tonight, and it's great to share it with everybody.
How are you feeling coming up on the Meadowlands Pace Final?
I was good until you asked me to do this interview, but no, it's good. I'm ready for it to happen.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And there you have it, Adam Bowden of Diamond Creek Racing. 3 finalists, Cannibal, Confederate, and Christchurch, heading into the Meadowlands Pace Final.
Well represented tonight, that's for sure. Diamond Creek, as you heard Jessica talking about, big chances, 3 horses that we had discussed in the lead up to this here. Christchurch, I know who you feel strongly about, Paul, behind Confederate last time out and part of that hot pace.
Yeah, it's amazing when you see someone like that who not only breeds them but also has them running and owns them as well, and it's a lot of work, as you know, to get them to get this far and to be in a situation to be in this race. So it truly is a blessing to have that many horses in there, and it's just a testament to their work.
Obviously, and a lot of success in doing what they do. This does kick off a pick 4. Paul, you got a ticket for us.
Yeah, you look at the first leg, and I know I'm all about Christchurch, who is the guy who I want to win, but I did spread deep in here because I'm just not sure what's going to happen in this race. I think there could be a little bit of chaos. When you get to race number 12 in the Houghton Memorial, Ruthless Hanover, I mean, dominant winner of the Dave Bauer Memorial, aired it out. In the 3, a buck bet Hanover was the odds-on favorite in there, but never saw the pylons. He's the other horse in there. I did throw in Allywag Hanover, who got saddled with post 10, was too far back and had to settle for 6th in the end, and a little bit of the 9 Charlie May 2, who on big nights has jumped up and run big races at prices. Single is going to come in the 2nd division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial Trot. Tactical approach the 4. 2 wins, 2 back, was impressive in a conditioned spot. I'm not sure we saw the best of him yet. And ooh, he took a spill there. I hope he's okay. Somebody better help him up there.
Down.
And then in the last leg, the last leg are to go with Snoopy Snoop, my dog, who won some races back, a couple of starts back against Trackmaster groups. How to Train Your Dragon and the outside horse, it's showtime. So $42 for me. Gabe, how's it looking for you?
Well, Paul, very similar approach because I think it's, take a sequence we're going to have to spread. I'm going to take a couple of different angles at this. First of all, I'm going to try and beat the favorite, Confederate. Yes, I know he's the horse to beat, but again, I do have my concerns. If he gets used hard here, he's driven a little more aggressively. Can he hold up, withstand that pressure as a favorite and win? I'm going to toss him out. I'm going to try and beat him in terms of the multi-race plays go. Going to go 4 deep here. Fulton, Vukafalis, Christchurch, and El Rey was much improved, adding Lasix last time. Paul, but a single horse you didn't use. That's By the Missile. He's missed a couple of months in that 12th race. He's coming back off a layoff there. Good qualifier, was home in 24-4. He actually beat the North America Cup winner, that qualifier. Thought that was very, very impressive. I'm 3 deep in that other Stanley Dancer division. Thought that was a little bit of a tricky event, so 4, 6, 8 there. And as you guys can see, I have a lot more questions than I have answers in that final leg. That's a 10-15 claiming handicap here to close down the big stakes action on Meadowlands Pace Night. My top pick, guys, Born Unordinary. It's a big barn change. He debuts tonight for a very high percentage outfit here on the East Coast. He ships in from Columbus over at Sourdough Downs. He's 15-1 in the morning line. If we could get him across, I think we could do some damage.
I like it. Some nice prices. Hopefully in the sequence, Gabe, best of luck, as we'll have some dueling singles there between those 2 pick 4 tickets. But even though the betting public zeroing in on the favorite in this upcoming Meadowlands pace, Paul, Confederate, of course, some questions to be had by both you and Gabe using a spread method. They are meeting the field, though. You see Fulton stepping out onto the track.
Yeah, Fulton got hung out for a half of the mile in his elim last week, made the top finally, but he was used hard. 53 flat to get there. Vukafalis came calling. Now Dexter Dunn takes over. I would never count out Dexter Dunn in these big races.
Speaking of, there's Vukafalis.
Yeah, pace dynamics played a role in the eventual outcome for him last week, too. He didn't run badly at all. Just had to make that first over move into what was a really fast pace. And just to give him a chance to make that power move that he has, so maybe tonight he doesn't have to do that heavy lifting, catches a helmet, and he gets one big move.
I practiced saying that name for a while. Here is your favorite horse, the number 3, Christchurch.
Yeah, I'm married to him, and just like the North American Cup, I'm not giving up on him because of what happened last week. He had to run every step by being pressed by Lyon surfing that long shot. He was still there at the end, only got beat a length. When we see the good Christchurch, he hangs around, and I'll take my swing with him. So, and most paces, by the way, 7 of the last 15 winners have set or cut the pace. So I think he's going to be right there. He's talented and can be there on both ends.
He's taking attention at 9-2 as well. There's Cannibal in form right now.
Talk about a horse who's getting good at the right time. 4 for 4 now in 2023. Last week's a limb. Hey, if you want to say he got the perfect second over trip, I'll give you that, but it's the toughest field he ran against, so he showed braveness and confidence, and that's all you need. Sometimes they just puff up when they get in these situations. We'll see what happens tonight.
4 for 4 this year, biggest test yet. There's trainer Brett Pelling with Confederate, your favorite.
Yeah, didn't disappoint last week at 1-5. Chased that big speed, parlayed it into a win. He loves to go quick, and Tim Tetrick said that there was still some in him. He's better following a helmet. We'll see what happens tonight. He always shows up. He's the reserve favorite in here.
He's a short price on the board right now, trying to pick up another big victory and make it 5 in the pace for Brett Pelling. Here's Hungry Angel Boy.
Yeah, he was good enough to get in. He sat 3 back in his elim, made a little bit of a run in the stretch. He's a long shot tonight. Somebody has to be in this group, but the trainer's very happy with him. So we'll see what happens. Last time out was first time Lasix and first time aluminum shoes for this horse too, so maybe it made a difference for him and moved him up a little bit.
Trainer Tony Alanya sends out that long shot. Here's one that's a shorter price for the same barn, El Rey, second behind Confederate.
Yeah, catching some money now too. He hasn't been the same in 2023. He did finish second last week though in that elim and closed into that wicked pace. So on its face, it's an improved effort. However, I wonder if it's an illusion, too, based on the pace of the race. Plus, Stocky Sealster broke in that race in the stretch, so horses like Ammo and El Rey got good trips up the inside. We'll see what happens, though. He's talented. There's no doubt about that.
Driver Lauren Triton has made some headlines, and she will be piloting the 8. It's a Me Mario.
I know. Brings me back to my Mario Brothers
days.
Yes. You know, there's Lauren Triton again, and, you know, not for nothing. I wasn't shocked that they found a way to get this horse in. Sat back, made one good run. Boom, they're in, and it wouldn't shock me again if she did it again, but this horse does have to get faster against this group to do that.
Here's Ammo, as you had touched on, got a little bit of a setup last time.
Yeah, rode the inside, you know, rode it well to make the finals, you know, in the end. But you know what? Christchurch that cut that mile still finished in front of him, so would need his absolute best to beat this group tonight.
He's a long shot, as is the outside horse. We'll see in just a moment. It'll be the number 10, Save America.
Yeah, there's Purple Jesus, by the way, with Ammo.
Purple Jesus.
So maybe he's saying some prayers behind him. So there's Save America, who made the finals, by the way, when Stockade Sealster was disqualified from 5th for that break last week and placed out for interference, moved this horse up. He would have been a long shot either way, and now he's got post 10, which is tough for Matt Kakaley, who I saw last night at Saratoga Harness up here for New York Sire Stakes. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
That's the field for this year's Meadowlands Pace. Your favorite is Confederate, but some others are intriguing in this spot as we bring in Jess and Gabe. And I know that both of you thinking you have to take a look at some other contenders in this group.
You do have to take a look at a couple of other contenders in this group. Obviously, the horse to beat is going to be Confederate, but we have seen this horse lose. He lost in the North America Cup final. He got stacked up a couple of horses over in that outer flow, and he just missed at the wire. So it'll be interesting to see what Timmy T does in here. He's a very versatile colt, but Gabe, I know you like Christchurch in this spot, and he is 5-1 on the board. Now, interesting enough, Dexter Dunn stayed with Fulton in this spot like he did in the North North America Cup. Obviously, we've been talking about the big half Christchurch put up in his elimination, and he lived to tell about it, only getting beat a length. What do you like about this guy coming into the race?
Well, I like him quite a bit, Jess, and I'm not sure. I heard Paul just say he was married to him. I'm not quite sure I'm married to Christchurch. We're dating, I think, at least at this point. But I like the price. You know, he's up there 5-1 right now on the board. And as you said, he put up those huge fractions last week, and he was still right there. He took pressure throughout the mile. That's almost impossible to do. He had every excuse to stop somewhere there mid-stretch. You know, he kept pacing. He was third there, beaten narrowly. The interesting thing is Dexter Dunn drove him last week. He had, you know, a timetable to make his decision, and the connections of Christchurch opted to switch drivers here to go to Yannick Gingras when Dexter didn't really maybe get back to him on the timetable they were looking for. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think he'll be aggressive again. Yannick Gingras, probably one of the most aggressive drivers in the sport of harness racing. It's all going to come down to the pace. Pace makes the race. If he can get away on the lead and he gets away a little softer, 54 seconds, 55 seconds to the half, he's got a major chance. If he has to go 52 and change, again, like he did last week, it's going to be an awfully tough assignment.
It will be interesting because I talked to Nancy earlier on in the week, and she said, you know, his heart rate was still super low after the race. I think he just got a little bit leg weary, as he should, you know, being run at the mile like that. Plus, Dexter was leaning back into him, trying to, like, let that horse go a little bit. So maybe he kind of choked him down a bit. But I think with putting up those kind of fractions, it is going to be a testament on how the horse comes back into this race, because sometimes it takes a bit much out of them rather than, you know, they can bounce back so quick.
Yeah, that's the question. Is he going to bounce back after being used that hard? That is a major question, but I can accept those questions when you're getting a 5-1 price. I don't like to take favorites where you have some of those questions on, but again, I think the price is right here, and I suspect he may even drift up a little bit as we head here in the final moments.
We've talked plenty at length about Confederate. Of course, he had to make that move 3 wide in the stretch last time out in his elimination. I talked to Brett Pelling. He said, I was just wondering if Timmy was going to be cute and go to the inside or go to the outside and swoop him, and that's what he did, and he's such a versatile colt.
Yeah, he really is, and Tim Tetrick actually said last week at the Winter Circle he had him completely geared down the final eighth of a mile. He thought he could have went a second faster. If that's true, that's scary. Question is, what's he going to do? All eyes are going to be on the favorite here, the 5 Confederate, off the gate. Is he going to leave and try and get some position, or is he going to try and race from off the pace as he did in the other big money event, the $1 million North America Cup? So the tactics are in his hand. The good thing is he's got a perfect post here. He's got plenty of options. You know, with a mid-pack post, he can take off the pace, or he can leave out and get some position.
Trainer Tony Alania sends out 2 in here. Hungry Angel Boy and El Rey, post 6 and 7. El Rey gets post 7. Tony wishes he was one to the inside. He was first start Lasix last time out. And I don't think people go back and watch the replay and give him enough respect. He was shuffled on the rail, then he had to move, then he had to stop, and then he moved again, and he come back on to finish second.
Yeah, he absolutely exploded,
yes.
Jess. He was airborne the final yards there. And it does look like Lasix did the trick there. This colt had just been okay. They had such high expectations heading into this year, and he just hadn't lived up to that building. But last week, that was quite an incredible burst of speed he had there at the end. Question is, how's that trip going to work out from post 7? Again, if he gets a little too far back in the early stages, he may leave himself a little too much to do.
Vuka Fallis, of course, making New Jersey proud. Back-to-back New Jersey Sire Stake champs. 9-2 on the board. I talked to Mike Russo earlier in the week. He said he could not steer the horse warming up. Jordan was afraid going to the gate because he had no control over him, and he just got beat at the wire. So whatever was going on with him, he overcame that to put up a big mile. He had to come quick first over into that third quarter, and he really raced well.
Yeah, he did race well. My question is he peaking into this race? You really need to be peaking at the right time. We saw him so razor sharp earlier in the season. You know, I really didn't think he had much of an excuse to get beat last time. I thought he should have probably dug it and won that race. A little disappointed in him, but he's a tremendously talented colt. We'll see if he can bounce back.
There are 10 horses in this field, plenty of long shots. I do want to give a shout out to Lauren Tritton, of course. She's the first female driver in the history of the 47 years to drive in the Meadowlands pace.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a husband-wife team. Lauren does an excellent job in her driving career. She's already had a big major stakes win earlier with the Battle of Lake Erie at Northfield. She will not give up an inch to these guys out of the track tonight.
We are getting ready for the $668,000 Meadowlands pace final. We'll send it back to Acacia.
Gabe and Jessica, thank you. Can't wait to see how it plays out. You're watching the Meadowlands Pace on FS1. We'll send it up to Ken Workington for the call.
$1,000. Elimination winner, Confederate, the 5 at 6-5. A pair at 5-1, the 2, Vukafellis, and 3, Christchurch. 7-2 on the 7, El Rey. They're on gate, picking up speed. Race 11 for the Meadowlands Pace. Here they come. And the Rob, Hungry Angel Boy is out of there fast with Christchurch on the inside. And Fulton shows up on the rail. Those three across the track as Vukafalis just floated away in 4th position. Confederate now 4th on the outside and gating. So Vukafalis is 5th and settles in front of Cannibal, who is next in line 6th to the opening quarter. Then comes El Rey at the rear of the field. And It's Me Mario, followed by Ammo. And the trailer is Save America. Past the opening quarter, Christchurch takes the lead with Jingron 26-2. Christchurch planted up front here to dictate the terms. Hungry Angel Boy, the speed secures the pocket spot. Fulton is hard to wrangle in there, 3rd by Dexter Dunn. It's Confederate. The favorite is 4th on the inside. Vukafalis to the outside, 5th. He's followed by Cannibal, 6th on the outside. Then comes El Rey. Shooting a gap on the inside is Ammo, followed by Save America, now 9th. And It's Me Mario, 10th. The half, 54-3 onto the far turn. So it's Christchurch. The ball's in his court. Christchurch, Hungry Angel Boy. Here comes Confederate. He'll have to do it the hard way first over. He's soon to be 2nd on the outside. Vukafalis is gapping that cover. Fulton has no racing room. Stride for stride with him. Also looking for room is Ammo on the inside as they turn for home. And they're stride for stride at 3/4. Christchurch and Confederate on the outside, taking it to him. 1:21-1. They're in the stretch of the Meadowlands pace. And Confederate looking to assert himself here. Confederate kicks clear by 2, now 3. Hungry Angel Boy looking for 2nd. Christchurch on the inside, 3rd. Confederate destroys them. Confederate and the Bionic Man. Confederate dominates the Meadowlands pace over Hungry Angel Boy. Then Christchurch and Fulton in 1:47.
Confederate, the favorite, he delivers and delivers in a big way, Paul.
Yeah, the top 3 really separated themselves. Christchurch went to the top and actually backed it down nicely to 54-3, but Confederate came a-calling first over, did the heavy lifting, and put this field away so easily for Tim Tetrick. And you got to give a shout to Hungry Angel Boy because, as I said last week, this horse had a bit of a look at a price and always seems to run his race and wind up in the top 3. And, well, ran 2nd today, and Christchurch hung in there late, and the rest of them were basically just running behind them tonight. So big effort here from Confederate, stamping himself as something special in this division.
Much the best in this spot game, Confederate, as he delivered on that favoritism, and a horse we wondered just how good he really is. I think he answered that tonight for us.
Yeah, if there were any questions, Acacia, boy, do we know now, because we had him right where we wanted him. Christchurch was on the lead, fairly reasonable fractions for this level of company. Confederate, was unable to draft tonight. He actually had to come first over, take all of that air, do all the hard work himself. Guys, it made absolutely no difference. He just coasted home. He won this as easily as he pleased. This is a tremendously talented colt. The connections, well, they're some of the all-time Meadowlands pace leading connections. This is trader Brett Pelling's record 5th Meadowlands pace victory. Just incredible. It's number 6 for driver Tim Tetrick. He's just 41 years old. He's won our signature event here 6 times throughout his career. And oddly enough, he's not even the leader just yet. That's John Campbell, who's banked 7 Meadowlands pace victories. But, yeah, the favorite steps up and delivers here, guys. He was as advertised tonight at 1-2.
Wow, pretty amazing to think about 7 Meadowlands pace victories. Tim Tetrick well on his way. He's got plenty more opportunities, I'm sure, to add to that tally, and picks up, as you heard Gabe mention, his 6th tonight.
Yeah, and the scary thing was, last week Tim said that this horse could actually go faster. Like, he was aiming for 146, and he still did it again in 147 easily. And for horses like Vukafalis, the pace dynamics again played a role. He had to come first over. Fulton was hard to wrangle in and got taken inside. So things kind of came together here, but he was just much the best no matter which way you cut it and slice it. And basically the horses that were up front stood up front.
And we saw a shot on the left-hand side of your screen of Adam Bauer, who you heard from earlier in the evening with Jess. This horse, Confederate, owned and bred by Diamond Creek Racing. Of course, they were represented by 3 in here. And there's Brett Pelling as Confederate delivers for all of the connections.
Yeah, I guess he didn't have to worry about doing that interview. There was no jinx.
There was no jinx today.
we didn't jinx
anybody.
anybody.
We love that. We love when the pre-race interviews the winner, so they're not scared to come back for an interview next time out. Confederate, much the best in the Meadowlands pace. He delivers and does so in a big way. We'll bring you prices, reactions, and more after this on America's Day at the Races. Stay with us.
Some of the top horses in the sport are born and raised in Pennsylvania.
It's really the world capital of standardbred breeding. Breeders from other states locate in Pennsylvania.
It's not a hard sell. I mean, we have a whole mess of clients that send us horses to take advantage of the program. The racing opportunities have been, continue to be, and into the future are very strong here. This is where the top stallions are. A lot of the top mares are here in Pennsylvania. It's perfect.
Reach for the unreachable. Race to new horizons. The artisan's quest for beauty burns in the heart of Japan, forging strength like no other, with love and honed to perfection. Noble, authentic, and only here. The legacy of strength.
America's Day at the Races, brought to you by the Standardbred Breeders Association of Pennsylvania. And a nice tie-in as we see a Pennsylvania bred Confederate getting the victory in the Meadowlands Pace on a special anniversary for trainer Brett Pelly.
Yeah, 28 years ago to this date, 1995. I was there. Well, no, I wasn't there, but I was actually watching. But he won his first Meadowlands Pace on this date with David's Pass. So it's something special to do that on the anniversary as well.
And he's now got 5 to his name. $3 winner. Confederate was 1-2. Hungry Angel Boy at 70-1, picking up second.
Yeah, big run from that horse who always runs his race, and he does it at a big price. He's always there.
Pretty cool. Yeah, at that exacta big price with Hungry Angel Boy underneath, picking up the place money, but Confederate the victory. And we talk about a lot of these big connections when they've had multiple wins in certain races. But it's worth repeating, Paul, because these races are not easy to win. It's the same thing as we see hitching a ride back to the stable area. These races are not easy to win. There's so many things that can go wrong along the way, whether we're talking about thoroughbred racing, the flats, or talking about the standardbreds, and in this conditions that we have, the preparation, the work by trainer, staff, owner, driver, all of it has to come together for one victory to be possible.
Yeah, and not only can you do every single thing like that right, then all of a sudden the eliminations come up. And sometimes the best laid plans, they can go wrong at the starting gate, and then you don't make the final, and you get to be in for the big money. So you're absolutely right, 100%. It takes a team to get them there. And it takes the horse, too.
It does. It does. The horse is number one. If you don't have the horse, nothing's going to work out. But, yeah, all about the team and this Pennsylvania-bred Confederate getting the victory. There he is on his way back.
Yeah, he's like, I know I won, and he's giving a ride to people, too.
He looks very happy. Yeah. He looks very proud of himself, too.
Yeah, I would be, too.
He should be. He's very talented. So where does that kind of place him as far as a contender in this division moving forward?
Well, going forward right now, he is the horse for sure. I mean, some other horses as the year goes on, and as you know, horses progress as time goes on. So we'll see what happens as stake season continues. But for now, I mean, he beat up on a good field. And you had horses like Vukafalis and Fulton and Christchurch that have resumes. And even Cannibal, who was an up-and-coming horse who ran exceptionally well against a good field last week, found things a little bit tougher tonight. And sometimes they can be a little too wound up for these big races, and it works the opposite direction with them, where they just won't fire their best race. So we'll see in a couple of weeks where all of these horses shake out.
The 3-year-olds, a lot of development can still happen at this stage. A lot of them still quite lightly raced too, but Confederate kind of stamping himself as the big name right now. As we take a look at the field for the next race coming up, the 12th, it's the William Houghton Memorial. It's a 1-mile pace. As we take a look at the field to line up, good sized field here and a pretty wide open board. We don't have kind of that big heavy short price favorite. 5-2 on the number 7 By the Missile.
Yeah, By the Missile is a horse that I just am not crazy about tonight. I know it's Gabe's single, and this horse ran a really good qualifier, came home in 24-4, and the North America Cup winner was in there, and that was not a mistake on that final time, is in 3 for 3 in 2023. A little tougher tonight. I just feel like this horse may need one race to get to that 147, 146 time frame tonight. And this horse is facing two good horses in Ruthless Hanover and a Buck a Bet Hanover.
Ruthless Hanover towards the inside too has a lot of really speed, and this is a horse we saw winning the Dave Brower Memorial, which was such a special race that we got a chance to pay tribute to Dave Brower, a longtime analyst that we lost too soon, and a very well-known face at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, Dave was a great guy, and I learned a lot of my note-taking from Dave Brower. So he was a great guy, and not only that, but Ruthless Hanover aired out in that
Very
race. I mean,
impressive race.
aired out.
Yeah.
And the horse just to the outside, a Buck a Bet Hanover, is probably the horse you do want out of that race, though, because a Buck a Bet Hanover never saw the pylons in that race and still finished a clear-cut second and ran a really good race as well.
We're going to see the 1-2 finishers coming out of that Dave Brower Memorial. We were on set together July 1st for that race, and we'll see if it's a little bit of a repeat of that tonight. Meanwhile, the Meadowlands Pace, Confederate got the job done. Let's go to Jessica with special guests.
Special guest, I got winning driver, winning trainer. We'll start with winning driver, Tim Tetrick. Timmy, I know you said going into this race you were going to have a couple of options. What were you thinking leaving the gate tonight?
I kind of worked the way I thought it was going to. I had to get a little bit out of the gate and secure my position, and it worked kind of the way I thought it would. And Michael, he was just ready to go, and Brett, kudos to him and his team. The horse couldn't race any better.
You had to come first over against a horse who put up some pretty serious fractions last week. What was going through your head?
Well, I was hoping those fractions might pay a little toll this week, right back in 7 days. And, you know what, my horse is just, he had an extra long today. He was just super, and, you know, it would have taken a really good horse to beat him today.
So celebrating down the lane, your 6th Meadowlands Pace. It doesn't get old, does it?
No, it's a hard race to win, and I've been very fortunate to do it. And, you know, thanks to the horses and the trainers and owners that let me get them ready for this race.
Ruthless Hanover up next, of course, coming off that 146-4 mile in the Dave Brower Memorial. Is he ready to go again tonight?
Well, I sure hope so. He was very good last time, and, you know, we're going to race him and find out. You know, that's what the connection's like, and that's what the horse likes. So hopefully we get the trip that we want, and he can hold on.
Congratulations and best of luck moving forward.
Thanks, Jess.
Bringing in winning trainer Brett Pelling. Brett, I met up with you earlier on in the week, and we talked about this colt, and he just takes care of himself. How was his week coming into the week after I talked to you on Monday?
You know, everything about this week was great. I mean, it was all about recovery from last week, and you know, he's a very, very sound horse. He's very smart. He's no trouble, and that's the great thing about him. There's no, you don't feel there's a hiccup. There may be one coming, but we haven't had it yet, and he's just been great.
What was going through your head when the gate unfolded and Timmy, you know, was going to have to come first over?
Well, I was just looking to see where he's going to drop, and, you know, if he didn't drop in, I thought, gee, he's going to do a bit of work. But, you know, he found a nice spot there, and coming first over, you could see he was just traveling great. And so I really wasn't that concerned. But, you know, you're always looking to see who's coming from the back. But, you know, they're posting a 47-mile last quarter and 25-4. I mean, you're not making up ground on that.
Your 5th Meadowlands Pace trophy. What makes this one different from the rest?
This one, well, gee, I think the last one was 2005, so there's a big gap there. It's a great race. It's a signature race. I mean, Meadowlands, greatest track in the world, and just great to be back on the winner's circle in this race.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you have it. Confederate takes the 2023 edition of the Meadowlands Pace Final in 1:47. We'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Big performance for that runner, delivering for his connections. We'll see what the future has in store for Confederate. When we come back, it's time for the William Houghton Memorial, that 1 mile pace coming up, and we'll look back on a world record performance, the fastest harness horse, Bulldog Hanover, that captured the hearts of so many. We'll revisit his historic win after this.
Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Here's Mage coming struggling down the outside. Angel of Empire is putting in his run, and there's 1 furlong to run. 2 Bills on the inside, trying to hold on Mage. Mage has taken the lead here as they come into the final 16, and it is going to be Mage to win the Kentucky Derby.
The classic sire.
Experience the adrenaline-pumping, suspense-filled action of the Sport of Kings no matter where you are with Naira Bets. It's fast, easy, and secure. Download the app today and start winning with our lucrative weekly promotions, thrilling handicapping contests, and a one-of-a-kind VIP rewards program. Don't just watch horse racing, be a part of the action with Naira Bets.
Ever dream of owning your own racehorse? How would you like to get in the winner's circle with the #1 harness racing partnership in the U.S., VIP Stable? There's nothing like the thrill of your horse coming down the stretch. To find out more, call VIP Stable at 877-VIP-WIN1 or visit us on the web at www.vipstable.com. Turning horse racing fans into racehorse owners. Be a winner.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Bulldog Hanover, Rocky Road Hanover looks for the upset on the outside. The others giving futile chase here for minor spoils. Bulldog Hanover, the Bulldog does it again. Bulldog Hanover, Rocky Road Hanover, and then Tattoo Artist. It's Bulldog Hanover, 1:45 and 4. There it is, the fastest mile in harness racing history.
1:45 and 4, that world record performance in the 2022 Houghton Memorial with Bulldog Hanover. It was kind of the race we'd been waiting for from him too, Paul, and just a remarkable year that he had, and I thought it was so cool in how he captured the imagination, the excitement of so many fans, even outside of the harness racing world.
I know, and bringing people to the track just to see him out there. He's such a cool horse. 28 wins out of 37 career starts. The first horse to ever unanimously win the Dan Patch Award as well. And just to give you a little bit of a background on just him alone, a name of a presence that he is, he was unanimously a male Horse of the Year up in Canada, inducting into the Hall of Fame over a Triple Crown trotter in Marion Marauder, and also a top sire in Muscle Mass.
Bulldog Hanover certainly was special, and Jess and Gabe, we got to cover quite a few of his races together on the shows last year, and as I said, I just think it's so amazing the fans that he brought into the sport with what he was doing out on the racetrack.
That was my favorite part about Bulldog Hanover. We did cover plenty of his racing action right here on the show. His roll with Joe when he tied the world record, his William Houghton when he broke the world record. I remember the feeling in the building that night. Gave me goosebumps. And then, of course, the Breeders' Crown up at Woodbine Mohawk Park where he tied the Canadian track and stakes record there. But the best thing about Bulldog, Gabe, was no matter where he was at, whether it was Indiana, Ohio, New Jersey, Lexington, Kentucky, Canada, there were 20 deep on the fence.
Yeah, they just wanted to appreciate greatness, guys. That's what it was. And, you know, the night that he broke the world record here nearly a year ago was July 16th last summer. Conditions weren't perfect.
No.
It was breezy. We had gotten some rain. It was really incredible. The fractions did not set up really for a world record. It was 120 and 3 3/4. We didn't really expect a 25 and 1 final quarter, but that's what we got. You just grew. You didn't know what to expect when it comes to Bulldog Hanover. Guys, he was a solid 2 and 3-year-old. He made about $1 million, $900,000 and change, but it was his 4-year-old season last year, but he exploded. He made over $1.8 million at the age of 4, so that put him at $2.8 million in his career. He's now studying studies of the Silster Farms in Ontario, enjoying retirement. His first foal was actually born in January of this year because last year he pulled double duty, Jess. He was racing and breeding a bit, so Bulldog Hanover is just a tremendously, he's just an excellent horse. It's great to see, and he got immediately inducted into the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame. That shows you how tough he is. I don't know what the guidelines are to get inducted maybe a few months after you quit racing, but that's pretty impressive.
And, you know, he handled the press and the people, the hundreds of people that came to his stall, came to see him in the paddock, came to see him in the winner's circle. He handled that so well. And, of course, I always loved when Dexter tried to pull him up after the race because he was almost at the 3/4 pull again. The horse always kept going. We're definitely going to miss him on the racetrack, but I'm so excited to see his babies. And, of course, he set the world record in this exact race just a year ago in the William Houghton Memorial of 1:45 and 4. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of speed is going to be worked into this race, of course, with Ruthless Hanover coming off of that 1:46 and 4 mile just a couple of weeks ago in the Dave Brower Memorial. Acacia.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to, Jess, and we'll see if anybody can come close to the brilliance of what we saw in last year's edition with Bulldog Hanover. The post parade well underway here. Paul, that's a look at the 5 tattoo artists. Here's the 6. I did it my way.
Frank Sinatra fans, some solid runs in the Graduate Series, runs well here at the Meadowlands, so I wouldn't talk you off this horse at a price to fill out your exotics underneath.
By the missile, 7-2 right now.
That was correct. That 24 and 4 kicking home in that qualifier. 3 for 3 in 2023. It's a little bit tougher tonight. I know that's Gabe Single. It's the wild card of the race. I just think that horse is going to need a race.
See if it can get the job done tonight. Big price. This is the plan.
Yeah, always shows up at these big races and dances. Only has 4 wins to show for it, but has banked over $500K though since 2022.
Maybe not the winningest type lately, but he's always right there, Charlie May.
Yeah, you know, he hasn't broke through yet in 2023. He's close, but he's had success here at the big track. It's a tough field. Tough post, but you know what? Sometimes Charlie jumps up and runs a big one at a big price.
And some big prices to the outside, too, working on a mystery, and Nandolo.
Yeah, Nandolo would need a major step up versus these. I mean, he's had some success in the past against, like, the open types, and he's been working his way through some condition races over at Yonkers, but this is a different story, and he's also in the second tier tonight.
That's the field for this year's edition of the William Houghton, and quickly want to get your opinion here, Paul. As the number 3 at Buckabat Hanover, now the favorite, you said he's the one you want out of the Brower.
Yeah, you know, I know that Ruthless Hanover was that dominant winner and aired things out in that race. And you know something? I mean, big-time speed there, and that's fine. But a Buckabat Hanover, who was the odds-on favorite in that race, he was far back early from that outside draw. He never saw the pylons either. And I think it's important to note that because even a horse like a Buckabat Hanover with talent like that, now he's making his move. He was so far back from Ruthless Hanover, who got separation at the top of the stretch, which a lot of the times is a death sentence at the Meadowlands. If you can open up a couple of lengths, you're usually in good shape turning from home. Ruthless Hanover was in full stride. A Buckabat Hanover ended up going from 2 wide to 3 wide to 4 wide, still put in a run out there to get up for second, and it was a long separation back to the rest of them. So for me and my money, while I love what Ruthless Hanover did in a very special race, a Buckabat Hanover might be the horse you want out of there just based on the trip that he had.
A great opportunity that we get a chance to see them rematch tonight as we bring Gabe and Jess in. Guys, what are your thoughts as to how this may shake out, especially with those top 2 finishers coming out of the Dave Brower Memorial?
You know, Gabe, I think this is going to be a guns a-shootin' off of the gate because not only does Ruthless Hanover like to leave, Tattoo Artist likes to leave, and a Buckabat Hanover has been leaving aggressively, you know, in those qualifiers. It just hasn't set up for him to leave, you know, off the gate in these races, but you're going to go elsewhere. You're going to go to By the Missile. Of course, he's raced 3 times this year. He's had 3 wins. Then he got really sick in the Juravinsky Memorial Final up at Flamborough. They gave him plenty of time off, and he could not look any better in his a qualifier coming into this race.
You know, he could not, and the reason why I'm steered towards By the Missile, Jess, is exactly for the reasons you just said. This horse at 17 for 20 in his life. Little Brown Jug winner last year, 3 for 3 now at the age of 4. But I think this pace is going to be wild, to say the least. I mean, Ruthless Hanover from Post 2 is one of the fastest horses off the gate in the entire sport, not in this race, in the entire sport. I mean, he can get out of there 25 and change, and he might dial up a half here that's just a wicked number. I think it's going to set up maybe for someone off the pace. Now, Ruthless Hanover put up all those fractions last time. It ended up going all the way and winning, but the question is, how many of those type of miles do horses have in them? We just saw Christchurch in the Meadowlands pace maybe come back not as quite as sharp this week after he was used so hard last week. You know, that's similar concern here with Ruthless Hanover. He's gone so many tough races week in and week out. You know, how's he going to hold up here if he has to do all that heavy lifting once again?
8-5 on the 3 right now. That's a bucket bet Hanover. I liked this horse going into the Dave Brower Memorial. I still like him again coming into this race again tonight. But he did not get a good trip in the Dave Brower Memorial. He was parked every step of the mile. Then he got caught in Dolfo, and then he had to move him. And you know what I really like to see from him? It wasn't a flat second place finish. He actually paced forward and made up some ground against Ruthless Hanover. I had a chance to talk with Andy McCarthy after the race. He goes, he wasn't himself. And I said, what do you mean he wasn't himself? He just won a huge mile. So he's got a week or two off now to freshen up his legs a bit coming into this race, and he's getting some post relief, so that'll help him get closer to the action.
It will. You know, he's a talented stakes performer. 2 and 3. You know, he's made over $1 million. You know, he really is looking for that signature win, though, Jess, since he's gotten older. He's four obviously last season. Now he's 5. He was just 1 for 14 last season at the age of 4. I just have a little trouble taking a horse here that's a favorite that just has not been able to deliver the knockout punch in some of these big dances. He's raced okay. He typically always likes to finish close, typically always has a little late pace in him, but I'm just not buying the 8-5 type hype here on a big field and a talented field as well.
While we have a few seconds, Charlie May loves the Big M. He's going to have to do it from an outside post.
Yeah, we all remember it was a couple of years ago. He was disqualified from the Meadowlands pace when he crossed the line first. He's had 9 career starts here at the Meadowlands, the 9 Charlie May. 3 wins, 4 seconds, so he's been first or second 7 of 9. That doesn't count the DQ, so it actually been 8 of 9 if that had stood. So it's a talented field, guys. Acacia will let you guys take it away here. The William Houghton Memorial kicks off another pick 3.
We can't wait for it. You're watching live coverage of the Meadowlands on FS1. It's time for the William Houghton Memorial. Ken Workington standing by with the call.
Free-for-all pacers lining up field of 11. $444,000 William Houghton Memorial FanDuel Open Pace sponsored by Fashion Farms. And we have 8-5 on 3. A buck bet Hanover. Ruthless Hanover at 5-2. 5-2 on 7. By the Missile on gate. Race 12. The Houghton final. Here they come. They're off. Tattoo Artist shoots out with Ali Weg, Hanover on the inside, and a Buckabad Hanover and Ruthless Hanover with speed on the inside. And that is Charlie May up on the far outside for across the track here into the first turn. And cutting the corner, a Buckabad Hanover into 5th, Nandolo 6th. By the Missile going up 7th on the outside. Then comes Tattoo Artist. That one followed by I Did It My Way at the rear of the field with This Is the Plan. And working on the mystery is the trailer 26 for the first quarter. It was Ali Wag Hanover first there, but a quick brush from Ruthless Hanover. Ruthless Hanover takes the lead for guess who? Tim Tetrick. And it's Ali Wag Hanover back in second. Charging up after that leader is Ali Wag Hanover third. At the half, Charlie May 4th on the inside as they get set to pass the half. By the Missile 5th on the outside. Then it's Mad Max Hanover on the inside 6th, followed by Tattoo, Hardest, and Nandolo. I Did It My Way, and This Is the Plan. And working on a mystery, the half was stunning, 52 4/5, and they go at it on the far turn. A Buckabad Hanover and Ruthless Hanover. These two slug it out in trading blows. Ali Wag Hanover in the pocket spot, and lurking is By the Missile. Here comes By the Missile, surging 3 wide. Also 3 wide, Tattoo Artist, and they turn for home off 3 quarters in 1:19 4 in the stretch. It's Ruthless Hanover the target, and they fan out to come after him. Here comes Tattoo Artist down the center with Dexter Dunn. In between them, Ali Wag Hanover, and on the cones, Charlie May in deep stretch, but it's Tattoo Artist at 10-1 on the inside. Charlie May may do it. Charlie May in the Buckeye. Then Tattoo Artist, Ruthless Hanover, and Ali Wag Hanover. Charlie May, 31 to 1, 147 and 1.
31 to 1, Charlie May. We talked about him in the post parade, Paul, the fact that he was always right there and he hadn't broken through. And today he did so in a big way coming up the inside.
What a great drive by the Buckeye, Dave Miller. I mean, he found room on the inside. The pace was hot. 52 and 4, 119 and 4. Ruthless Hanover, a Buckeye at Hanover going at it. But take nothing away. Tattoo Artist ran well, but Charlie May ran better. And as I said earlier, he's been close. He's had success here at the big track, and every now and again, he's going to pop up with a big price and a big effort, and he did it tonight.
Gabe, we thought we might see some fireworks this evening, but I don't know if we were expecting fireworks of this kind.
What a monster price, guys. 31 to 1 here. If you want to know why we call him Purple Jesus, well, there you go. It was Dave Miller finding a way to thread through there at the inside. And how about a little redemption, guys? Again, we mentioned the 2021 Meadowlands pace. He crossed the line first, I believe, from post 9. Oddly enough, he was ultimately deemed to be guilty of interference. He was disqualified from that Meadowlands pace a couple of years back. Here he is on Meadowlands pace night now, $400 and some thousand, the purse, and he slides through at the inside, gets it done. And he was used very hard there. He left the gate, got some position, got a bad shuffle, but still found a way to sneak through and get it done. Charlie May, a real horse for the course, an incredible win tonight. It's his first win in 6 starts this year.
Redemption indeed. Charlie May with the victory. A great story about this horse, too.
Yeah, and what I liked is also what Gabe said. He had to be used, and he had the 2 moves in him tonight and found the seam to get it done at a big price. And Dave Miller knows what he's doing. He's won quite a number of races over the years, and that's why he's one of the great ones behind a horse.
Let's talk about the 2 favorites as we saw kind of that up-close shot of a Buckeye Hanover making a big move to go to the attack on Ruthless Hanover, not wanting that one to get too far away from him tonight.
Yeah, and the first over move into that pace, I mean, they went 26 and change, 52 and 4. When you're making that first over grind and they threw down going 27 again in that third quarter, it definitely took the sting away. A Buckeye Hanover backed out of it. Ruthless Hanover continued on a little bit, but you knew the race was going to come apart when you saw those fractions and everybody started charging hard.
31 to 1, the price on the winner. Charlie May takes the William Houghton Memorial. Bring you prices, reactions, and more after this quick time out. Stay with us on America's Day at the Races.
Some of the top horses in the sport are born and raised in Pennsylvania.
It's really the world capital of standardbred breeding. Breeders from other states locate in Pennsylvania.
It's not a hard sell. I mean, we have a whole mess of clients that send us horses to take advantage of the program. The racing opportunities have been, continue to be, and into the future are very strong here. This is where the top stallions are. A lot of the top mares are here in Pennsylvania. It's perfect.
Hey, horse players, check out Canterbury Park, racing now through September 16th. Canterbury Park offers 10% takeout on the post-time pit 4 and late pit 5 every racing day. That's the lowest takeout in the nation. 10% takeout, come play.
America's Day at the Races is brought to you by the Standardbred Breeders Association of Pennsylvania. And we do see another Pennsylvania bred with a win tonight. Charlie May up the inside at a big price. Let's go down to Jess.
Standing by with winning driver David Miller. David, 2 upset wins tonight on the card from Post 9. Charlie May gets the job done, equaling his lifetime mark here. I kind of lost you in the race there a little bit. Tell me how the race unfolded.
You know what? He was pushing the starting gate, so I just let him go out of there. And luckily, Timmy was letting Alleyway go, and Mad Max can't really get out of that quick, and I fell right in the 2-hole at the quarter.
So going up the backside, they were putting up some pretty decent fractions. Obviously, we see Ruthless Hanover put up some decent fractions on the front end week after week. A Buckabet Hanover was making a move. Then you had Allywag sitting there. At what point in the race did you know you were going to kind of get through?
At the head of the lane, I was laying over backwards with him. And when Todd moved out of the 2-hole, I mean, he wanted to go with him. And I was loaded with horses, nowhere to go. And then Timmy's horse started making some funny steps and kind of found a room late, and he shot right through there.
He did shoot right through there. And Charlie's such a nice horse to sit behind. He's so professional. It's good to see him get this signature win.
Yeah. He deserved it.
He did deserve it. Nice job.
Thanks.
There you have it. Charlie May takes a William Houghton Memorial in 147-1.
Jessica, thank you. Charlie May, after knocking on the door in quite a few starts, he gets his first victory in 2023. At 31-1.
Does it in a big way for Steve Carter and Dave Miller. And as Jess alluded to, this horse is very easy to drive. You know, you can put him where you'd like to go and he'll take you where you need to be. And tonight he got that pace in front of him. And when things opened up inside, Dave did not hesitate to go inside. Sometimes drivers will not want to shoot that gap, but it worked in this case tonight.
Big price, 64.40, 31-1. Tattoo artist, pretty generous price at 10-1 as well. The only short price horse in the top 3, Ruthless Hanover, who was able to hold on for third. As we turn our attention over to Stanley Dancer. As we talked about, we have 2 divisions tonight. Here's the second division coming up in race 13. Stanley Dancer Division number 2 for 3-year-old colts and geldings, 1-mile trot. Taking a look at the field, Winner's Bet down to the inside, taking some attention, and Celebrity Bambino, the 6th.
Yeah, I mean, you could make a case for a couple of horses in here. In Winner's Bet's case, it was a strong win in the Reynolds coming off the bench, so he's looking to build on that. Celebrity Bambino's carrying over that talent from last year and got that first win in 2023 last time out in the Reynolds. So it's an interesting matchup there, and Tactical Approach is a horse you might want too, who was impressive a couple of starts back as well.
There's a look at your single Tactical Approach as you used Charlie in the last race at a big price, Charlie May, on your pick 4 ticket. So good luck with your single coming up.
Yeah, we're still rolling. Look at him.
I like it.
Come on, come through for me, boy.
He's got his game face
Yeah, he's ready.
on.
Look at him.
He looks ready. The second division of the Stanley Dancer coming up after this. We'll see if Paul Single can get the job done. Talk more about it after this break on America's Day at the Races.
Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program in Oxford, New York was created in 2018 by Wanda Palacini to provide training to transition for finding homes and new careers for horses. Horses are started with groundwork and then ridden in an arena before moving on. Horses at Purple Haze are then evaluated and adopted out based on abilities and temperament. If you have a horse that you care about, or if you are looking for a great pleasure horse, contact Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program at 518-669-2715.
When it comes to horse racing, you can never have too much information. With Twin Spires, you can place your bets with confidence. Whether you use handicapping insights, like our Brisnet speed ratings, prime power and past performances, the guidance of our experts' top picks, or just choose a name that catches your eye. Yes! No matter how you pick your horse, bet with Twin Spires. Start earning your $200 sign-up bonus when you sign up with offer code GET200.
Summertime in New York. It's easy. Easy to plan. Easy to please everyone. Easy to get excited. Easy to get away. It's easy to love New York. Plan your summer getaway at iloveny.com.
Become a member of the United States Trotting Association and take advantage of special benefits including pathway savings, member pricing on American Horse Council publications, and discounts on products and services, and so much more. USTrotting.com is where you'll find entries and results from all the racetracks and get behind-the-scenes stories as the USTA visits farms and stables before major races such as the Hambletonian, Little Brown Jug, and Breeders' Crown. It's easy to join. Fill out the new member form on our website or call our member services department at 877-800-USTA.
And it's Marion Marauder at the top of the stretch who leads it. Desert Runners hanging in there first over. Bar Hopping kicks off his cover on the outside. Marion Marauder is edging away. Bar Hopping on the outside, moving towards second. Iron Mine Bucky up the rail, but it's Marion Marauder, a well-rated winner for Scott Zerot.
On the outside, Marion Marauder has open road. Bar Hopping battling back. Weightlifter K angles on the inside. The Royal Harry and Southwind Frank looking for that rail and has room now, but it's Marion Marauder still in front. Southwind Frank is coming. Marion Marauder, Southwind Frank. Marion Marauder and Southwind Frank, they hit the line together. Maybe Marion Marauder.
Back in 2016, Marion Marauder won the Stanley Dancer Memorial and then would go on to take that year's Hambletonian in a big victory in that tight photo finish. We'll see if one of these runners in tonight's Stanley Dancer can go on to take the Hambletonian. We'll be bringing you the Hambletonian on our show Saturday, August 5th, live on Fox.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. And the cool thing about Marion Marauder is he's living his best life right now at Kentucky Horse Park. So that's pretty
cool.
awesome. Yes, that's really awesome to see with him doing that. And was also a Trotting Triple Crown winner as well. Went on that year to do that in 2016.
Well, we'll see if somebody else can add their names to the history books starting tonight in the Stanley Dancer Memorial. Perhaps the winner will go on to be this year's Hambletonian victor as well. Again, live on Fox on Saturday, August 5th, the $1.2 million Hambletonian. Here's a look at the field for the second division of Stanley Dancer Memorial, that 1 mile trot. Paul's got a single with Tactical Approach coming up here. We'll meet the field in our post parade coming up, though, starting things off with Winner's Bet. I got a chance to interview Frank Antonacci of Lindy Farms and the nightcap at Saratoga tonight, and he said hoping my Hambletonian horse will do well tonight at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, it was a strong win in the Reynolds coming off the bench. Looking to build on that effort tonight. Being inside will certainly help that cause.
Here's Excalibur.
Nice win last week versus a conditions group. Does have some stakes class to fall back on. We'll see what happens tonight moving up.
10-1 on that one. There goes Chamba. Here's the 4, Tactical Approach.
That was an impressive win, 2 back at the Meadowlands in a condition spot versus Older. Was 3rd last time in the Reynolds behind Celebrity Bambino. Looking to turn the tables tonight. I don't think we saw the best of this horse last week. I think, and I'm looking for a better trip tonight.
We'll see if he can get it this evening. 7-2 right now on Paul's single, Tactical Approach. There he is, Scotty Z. Scott Zaron, the driver.
There you go.
I'm learning.
There you go.
Once in a Lifetime is next. That looks like it's the 6th, though, Celebrity Bambino.
So Celebrity Bambino carrying over the talent from last year and got that first win of 2023 in the Reynolds last time out. Looking to keep that train rolling. I like that he flashes speed at both ends of the mile, too. Just not sure about a short price on him. We'll see what he backs up last week with.
The 7, Dalquist Hanover, is a big price on the board.
Yeah, it should be. Couldn't get much going 2 and 3 back up north, so needs a big step up here to make things happen.
There's the 8, Killmeister.
You know, just hasn't been able to get back to the form from last year. And I know he ran okay at Vernon last time out, but it's kind of disappointing if you ask me.
Number 9, Crown is next, and there's the 10, Dire Straits.
Dire Straits wasn't able to show much as a big long shot in the Reynolds. It's even tougher tonight. Now draws post 10-2, so kind of slammed with that.
See if they can get the trip tonight. There's Tactical Approach, as this horse, you touched on your theory in the Reynolds last time out. That was on July 1st behind Celebrity Bambino. Take us through the thought process of thinking that we maybe didn't see the best of him that day.
Yeah, he was bet heavy that day as well, and I feel like he just was parked out a little bit early on, and then he happened to make the front end in that 56, so they went a little slower in the second quarter, but I just feel like that first half, he was a little too keen. He had to rush up. He had to get himself into position. Coming off the turn, the plugs got popped there. I feel like he was kind of just a little wishy-washy off the turn. Like he was kind of just wiggling around and looking around, and he got picked up in the end by a horse you know, in Celebrity Bambino, who ran well and who has flashed good speed at times. I think tonight he gets a little bit more comfortable trip, and I'm hoping that with the speed that's a little bit inside of him, he'll just sit maybe second, get that pocket trip, or come first over a little bit later on.
He's still 7-2 on the board. We'll see if he can get a better kind of trip today. The favorite, Celebrity Bambino, as bringing Gabe and Jess, and quite a few rematches here tonight, guys, and we'll see who can take that step forward.
Yes, and it is another Hambletonian preview here in the second division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial. Gabe, you and I both land on the 4 tactical approach out of the Nancy Tactor barn. And this horse, you know, Race Bell is a 2-year-old, maybe not as well as they would hope. Gave him some time off. He grew up, and he's looked really good in his 3-year-old season.
Yes, it'll be a little interesting to see how they race this guy tonight. They tried the front end last time, but I'm like Paul, maybe just not quite at his best. He was a 2-5 favorite there. Didn't think he had much of an excuse to lose that race. So we'll see if they revert back to off-the-pace tactics. We'll see how they approach that tonight. But this is a very talented colt. I expect him to rebound. Nancy Tactor will have him on his game tonight, I do believe.
Another very talented colt is Celebrity Bambino out of the Ronnie Burke barn. He blew up the top board earlier in the night with MM's Dream in that Hambletonian maturity. And this guy's been doing things right as well.
And here's a big note as well. Big equipment note here on Celebrity Bambino. The shoes have been pulled tonight, Jess. 90% of horses, I guess you could say, that really helps. It lightens him up. You can't get away with doing it every start. We saw MM's Dream, the upset winner from the Burke barn earlier. She had the shoes pulled as well. So I think that's really an indication that we can expect a very good effort here from Celebrity Bambino tonight.
And, you know, getting horses ready for the Hambletonian, getting them to peak on that first Saturday in August means not over-racing them. And the horse that starts from the rail tonight, Winner's Bet, has already 1 win on the season so far from just 1 lone start. And, of course, there's a good connection here with Frank Antonacci.
Absolutely. I know Acacia caught up with Frank Antonacci, as she mentioned there a little earlier up at Saratoga. Frank's a world-class guy, a Hall of Famer, the sport of harness racing. He was recently inducted. And his son, Phil Antonacci, is started off the Saratoga Thoroughbred meet 2 for 2. So Phil's doing an incredible job trading the thoroughbreds. Lindy Farms, synonymous with the sport of harness racing. And they've got a very talented horse here, Winner's Bet. You know, we really don't know exactly how good he is, but he hasn't done a thing wrong.
He danced in all the big dances last year. They added Lasix this year. He looks so good on the racetrack. Looks like he filled up a bit.
Yeah, he really does. You know, he come back. He was so good last week. They raced him on the pace. Just what you would want to see. A nice, steady progression, a win. He wasn't used overly hard, so I think he's fresh, and he's coming into this race very well.
A full field of 10 for the second division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial. Plenty of Hambletonian eligibles in here. We'll send it back to Paul and Acacia.
All right, Jess and Gabe, we can't wait for it, and certainly we'll be rooting for the Antonaccis here. As we mentioned, we got to see them in the winner's circle at Saratoga today. Looking for quite the daily double. The nightcap at Saratoga, potentially the Stanley Dancer over at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, that would be a great double to get, right? I wonder how many people have done that.
Yeah, pretty
probably
cool.
Not many at all. So this is going to be a great matchup here with the 1, the 4, and the 6, and throwing a little bit of the 2 too. It was improving a little bit. So see what they can do out there tonight in this division.
Second division of the Stanley Dancer as they line up. You're watching live coverage of the Meadowlands on Meadowlands Pace Night here on FS1. Ken Workington standing by with the call.
2 on the 4, tactical approach. At 7-2, the 1, Winner's Bet. Hambletonian prospects behind the gate here. Lined up, field of 10. Here they come. And they're off and trotting. Kilmister from the outside. Brian Sears sends him out of there. Tactical approach with the Winner's Bet on the rail into the first turn. Excalibur B is put in play third. And so is tactical approach on the outside, 3 wide and surging. So Chamba settles in 5th position heading to the opening quarter. Then it's Once in a Lifetime followed by Celebrity Bambino and Dahlquist Hanover at the rear of the field. Crown and Dire Straits. First quarter coming up, Kilmister, and now here comes a tactical approach. Scott Ciron wants to take control. 27-3 opened it up here. Tactical approach at 9-5 now, planted up front in full control. Kilmister pockets up for now. Winner's Bet is tracking 3rd. Excalibur B 4th by 2.5. Chamba is 5th. Once in a Lifetime to the outside 6th. Looks to be flushed out by Celebrity Bambino. Then Dahlquist Hanover on the inside with Crown and Dire Straits. At the half, it's tactical approach there in a rated 56-2. Tactical approach Kilmister Stocks from second. Winner's Bet is third onto the far turn. Excalibur B launched to the outside uncovered. Tracked by Once in a Lifetime. He is stride for stride with a locked-in Chamba on the rail. Then it's Celebrity Bambino on the outside, along with a come with Dahlquist Hanover to his inside. Tactical Approach opening up by 2. Kilmister trying to gear up and come after him. Excalibur B stalled third on the outside, 124 and 1. Into the stretch, well rated. Tactical Approach in front by 2. Tactical Approach, Kilmister second. Roused out of third. Here comes Winner's Bet now surging for Dexter Dunn in deep stretch. Tactical Approach. He's getting leg weary but hangs on. Two-pronged attack with Kilmister. And here is Winner's Bet on the outside. Winner's Bet, then Dexter Dunn. Winner's Bet, then Kilmister. Then Tactical Approach and Celebrity Bambino, 151.
You pull off the double. Saratoga winner's circle, and now the Meadowlands winner's circle. They're Hambletonian hopeful for Lindy Farms of Connecticut. Frank Antonacci, recently inducted into the Harness Racing Hall of Fame, and he's got a talented colt on his hands.
Yeah, and deservedly so for the Hall of Fame. But this horse ran big considering the fractions, 27-3, and then well rated was Tactical Approach. I'm just not sure that he likes being on the front end. He's just a little bit short there, but take nothing away from your winner. We had a nice trip on the inside, tipped out, and rallied well for Dexter Dunn over a horse in Kilmister who put in a very big effort. That was a much improved effort for that horse.
Gabe, it looks like this is a 3-year-old colt that is really taking steps forward at the right time, and what a drive from Dexter Dunn here.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, Acacia. If you did not have Winner's Bet on your Hambletonian list, you need to pencil him right on in, and possibly would think this was a very, very good effort. First off, the favorite, as Paul really mentioned, no excuse. You know, he got away pretty cheap there in the lead. Fractions were very reasonable for Tactical Approach, but he could not stave off sort of a two-pronged attack here, and Winner's Bet could not have done it any easier. This is 2 wins in a row to start his sophomore campaign. He's really peaking at the right time, guys. Of course, he wants to be peaking 3 weeks from today in the $1 million Hambletonian. He takes yet another step forward for Team Lindy and Team Antonacci.
See if he can do just that. An exciting horse to follow. Winner's Bet with the victory, and as mentioned, I interviewed Frank after the last race today. Son Phil, the trainer of the winning horse in the nightcap and Lindy Farms co-owner, and I asked him about going into the Harness Racing Hall of Fame, and he said, you know, I didn't expect it to really affect me as much as it has, but it's gotten me so emotional, and it means so much, you know, after everything they've put into the game, the ups and downs, the experiences. And he says, I love thoroughbred racing and harness racing so much, and somebody that's really done a lot for both industries.
Yeah, good things happen to good people in this industry too when they put in the effort, and that family has done a lot, whether it's thoroughbred or standard bred. And when you see these results and you see the achievements and you get to go into the Hall of Fame and you continue to do such good work even after, you know, the sport that we're in is not a sport where most people just walk away when they get inducted into the Hall of Fame. A lot of times they're still going long beyond that and still doing great things. So it's always good to see, and it's always good to root for people like that.
Could be a big future and a big rest of the year for this guy here. Winner's Bet with the victory. It was Monet Never in the nightcap at Saratoga, but Winner's Bet potentially on, as Gabe mentioned, to that Hambletonian. When we come back, we'll recap some of the earlier stakes action today from Quick Stop, Heaven Hanover, and MM's Dream. Saw a few upsets. We'll talk a little bit more about it after this on America's Day at the Races.
Just minutes from downtown Saratoga Springs, you'll find GMP Farm, a utopia of healing for equines and humans, offering revolutionary, customized equine care using state-of-the-art imaging and therapeutic technologies for horses of all disciplines. Immerse yourself in tranquility in our sacred spa, offering specialized spa treatments and holistic therapies to refresh and rejuvenate among tranquil mountain views. Start your journey to wellness. Visit gmpfarm.net and sacredspaandwellness.com to schedule a treatment today.
Canterbury Park's BCBC Handicapping Contest is September 13th. $1,000 entry fee and $1,000 live bankroll. Play on expressbet.com or at the park. Win your way to the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge or the National Horse Players Championship in Canterbury Park's BCBC NHC Qualifier Contest on Wednesday, September 13th. Powered by ExpressBet.
You're watching America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part by Naira Bets. You can bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Visit NairaBets.com or download the app to get started. In the second division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial, it was Winner's Bet. The driver, Dexter Dunn, and he's standing by with Jessica.
Winner's Bet takes a second division of the Stanley Dancer Memorial in 151, standing by with winning driver Dexter Dunn. Dexter, you were this guy's primary driver last year, and as a fan of the sport, I watched him last year. Coming back this year, he just looks like he's grown up.
Definitely, Jess. You know, he was a big horse as a 2-year-old. He had all the ability. You know, he just needed to get a bit stronger mentally and physically, and, you know, Dominica and the team have done a good job bringing him back. He's super relaxed this year too. He used to get quite grabby, so he's really come back on the right foot.
1 for 1, now 2 for 2 on the season. They added Lasix this year. Let's talk about the race tonight, because there was one main lever in there, but you were able to get away close.
Yeah, we had a good draw. He got out of the gate good and got in a good position, you know. So, you know, we stayed in around the last turn and, you know, got a good clear run at the top of the straight, and he really showed his turn of foot.
He seems pretty handy out there.
He is. You know, last year he definitely wasn't like that at all. But this year, so far, he's been, you know, really versatile and, you know, do whatever you want with him. So he's on the right track.
He looked very strong coming towards the lane. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I was thinking we're home sort of halfway down. You know, when I moved him off the helmet, he really took off and, you know, he kept his stride strong to the finish. So couldn't be happy with him. With
only a second start on the year this year, you know, getting horses to peak that first Saturday in August, you have to be pretty excited.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a big dance. You know, you always hope they come back well and have a good prep, and every race sort of goes to plan. It never works. It never quite often works that way, but you know, it's always good when it does.
Nice job.
Thank you, Jess.
There you have it. Winner's Bet takes the second Stanley Dancer division in 151. Hamiltonian eligible. We'll send it back to you guys.
We'll see if maybe he can make a dent into the Hamiltonian. It'll be exciting, that's for sure. Again, we'll bring you that live coverage on Fox of the $1 Million Hambo on August 5th. We'll get a chance to see this guy lining up. $13.40 winner's bet, as he has taken a step forward this year.
Yeah, and you know what? It's all about peaking at the right time, and he just might be rounding into form. Lightly raced and put in a really good effort tonight, beating a decent field of horses with Tactical Approach and Celebrity Bambino in there.
One more to go tonight. Taking a look at the 1 mile pace. It's a claiming handicap here in the nightcap in race number 14. That's a look at the field. Its showtime is 2-1 all the way to the outside. Now this horse is a relatively short price. Paul does have to deal with the outside post though.
Yeah, has that dreaded 10 hole and has that win 4 back against those amateur Meadowlands driving series horses. We'll see if he can work out a trip. I mean, his last few trips have not been exceptional, but against this field, he may not need to do that against this group, but he just has to worry about post 10. It's all about finding a trip from out there.
Well, we love learning of people that are big racing fans, and we hear that Gabe is standing by with somebody that's a big fan and a very special guest.
Thanks a lot, Acacia. And yes, someone I actually look up to, as you can see as well, my good friend Sam Bowie. And Sam, we've seen some great racing here tonight. Confederate, incredible, the Meadowlands pace.
Yeah, it looked like a lineup where it was going to be a driver's type of race, but Timmy Tetrick and Confederate, Diamond Creek, Adam Bowden, good friend of ours from the Lexington area, put on a performance that was devastating.
It really was incredible. No, a couple of years back, you had your own mare, Hot Mess Express. We're actually going to take a look at a clip of you jogging her out of the track the other day. She won a major six-figure stake here on Meadowlands Pace Night, the Mistletoe Chalet. Take us back to that moment a couple of years ago.
Well, I've been blessed along the way. I got a chance to be a second draft pick in the 1984 draft, and shaking David Stern's hand at the time I thought was one of the highlights of my career. But winning a stake race here at the Meadowlands is the mecca of all goals. So to say that I was excited would be an understatement. I was elated.
And she's still piling up wins. I know she's won a couple of times recently over at Harris, Philadelphia. Now take us back to that NBA career because you played here in the late 80s right across the street, about a couple hundred yards away over Brendanburn Arena. And what was your, what was your planning like after the games were over, maybe to get over and catch a couple races of the track?
Well, to make you appreciate what it was like playing for the Nets, we had played the Boston Celtics one night, and they had a lineup of Larry Bird, Parrish, and Kevin McHale and those guys. We got beat, and I always took a shower, talked to the press, and I jetted over to the Meadowlands up in the Pegasus to watch the last 3 or 4 races. So when I came home that night, my wife said, "How'd you do?" And I said, "I got beat right at the wire for the trifecta." She said, "No, I'm talking about the Celtics game." So that puts it in perspective.
Sam, great guy, great owner in the sport, a true fan. He's enjoying a great race car here with us on Meadowlands Pace tonight. Sam, great to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Gabe.
All right, back to you guys.
I absolutely love that. Great, great stuff. So great to have Sam there, a member of the 1980 Olympic team as well, played in the NBA. As you heard some of the stories that he shared there. I love that. My wife said, "How did you do?" She said, "Just got beat at the wire."
Yeah, I shouldn't care about the horse. I really cared about the game. I mean, come on. And Hot Mess Express was such a cool horse. 2021 Indiana Horse of the Year as well. And, you know, if he can get behind that horse, I think I can get behind one. I mean, I did that jockey simulator pretty well over at the National Museum Racing Hall of Fame, so maybe I can get behind one of those standardbreds. We got to make this happen.
Sam's pretty tall.
Yeah, we got to make this. I'm much shorter. We can make this happen. I can make weight easy anywhere.
The finale from the Big M coming up next. We'll talk a little bit more about it after this. One more race to go. Meadowlands Pace Night on our FS1 coverage. Stay with us on America's Day at the Races.
Some of the top horses in the sport are born and raised in Pennsylvania.
It's really the world capital of standardbred breeding. Breeders from other states locate in Pennsylvania.
It's not a hard sell. I mean, we have a whole mess of clients that send us horses to take advantage of the program. The racing opportunities have been, continue to be, and into the future are very strong here. This is where the top stallions are. A lot of the top mares are here in Pennsylvania. It's perfect.
Ever dream of owning your own racehorse? How would you like to get in the winner's circle with the #1 harness racing partnership in the U.S., VIP Stable? There's nothing like the thrill of your horse coming down the stretch. To find out more, call VIP Stable at 877-VIP-WIN1 or visit us on the web at www.vipstable.com. Turning horse racing fans into racehorse owners. Be a winner.
Introducing a stallion, as top class as they come. In 22 career starts, he won or placed in 12 graded stakes, competing in 15 grade ones, earning over $1.7 million. His undisputed speed is evidenced by 7 100-plus Spire speed figures, a 3-time grade 1 winner, Raging Bull.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
You're watching America's Day at the Races, brought to you by Naira Bets. You can bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Get started at nairabets.com or download the app today. Earlier on the card, over at the Meadowlands, we had some nice stakes performances. So take a look at the first division of the Del Miller Memorial, Paul, as highlighting Quick Stop, the #5, who got the big victory in this effort.
Yeah, came first over here and got Tim Tetrick off to a great stakes start tonight as well. Grinded out that first overrun, and you can see right here, you think maybe on the outside we're going to have a little bit of an issue, but Tim set this horse down for the drive and responded well. Kicked on late to hold off the challenge on the outside, and Annette Lorenzen's got a good horse here in Quick Stop. So look forward to seeing what happens in the next start.
She can make things interesting as far as the girls go, leading into those Hambletonian races and bringing in Gabe and Jess. Quick Stop looks like she's one who's in good form right now.
You know, Gabe and I were just talking a little bit off camera. I really liked Quick Stop in that spot tonight. Of course, 3 of them hit the wire together. Seeker Volo's been winning at long odds. She ended up going off as the favorite. Of course, an Instagram model. She kind of hung there a little bit on the outside, but I thought it was a very good performance from Quick Stop.
Yeah, it really was. You know, a 3-way thriller, the 3 favorites right there, the 3 best run of the line. But it was Quick Stop in between, and she earned that victory, Jess. She was first up. She was uncovered a long way. I was very impressed.
She really dug in towards the wire, and that's something I really like to see, especially in 3-year-old filly trotters.
No question about that. And those are 2 nice fillies right there on the wire that she defeated.
Yes, and of course, going into the next Del Miller, Timmy T took 2 of them, and we're going to take a look. We'll send it back to Acacia.
That's right, Jess. Taking a look at the 2nd division of the Del Miller Memorial, also the 1-mile trot for the fillies here. Heaven Hanover. She was 8-1 on the morning line, and this is a filly who was trying to turn the tables on some others she's faced in the past and making a step forward in the right direction at the right time.
Yeah, definitely a step forward, and parlayed that second over trip with a nice kick at the end. And Marcus Melander again has an embarrassment of riches in his barn, whether on the filly side or also on the male side as well. And getting up super late here, kicked in late, which I liked, and did not flatten out after that move that she made, and had a long way to come after being second over.
Big performance and beating on the rail, Justin Gabe, which your heavy favorite Bond, who'd been in such good form, but it was Heaven Hanover to pull the upset.
Yeah, Bond has been on a killer win streak. Of course, we saw her here back in the fall and then come back in the spring and win a couple of races as well. I think being parked took a little bit out of her, but you really can't take anything away from the second place finisher either, Rose Run Yolanda. That was a big first test for this Ohio-sired filly.
Yeah, it really was. You know, all attention was on Bond. She was riding a 9-race win streak. Really got to the lead and had things her own way, but, you know, they just gunned her down simply. And it was a worst to first move there for the winner, Heaven Hanover. You know, you really don't see horses get away last year all that often that are able to overcome that margin. That's what we saw here. This was eye-opening.
It was eye-opening, and again, I like to see those 3-year-old filly trotters dig in at the wire. She was dismissed at 11-1, and she really just exploded when Timmy T put her off cover.
Yeah, she really did. Trip worked out well, but she did have a lot of ground to cover, but she stepped up to the game, and as you said, the runner-up dead game in there as well. You know, Bond, we'll see. Maybe a little disappointing. Hopefully she'll bounce back.
Hopefully she will bounce back. That wasn't the only favorite that got beat earlier on in the night. Acacia, why don't you tell us about the next one?
Yeah, Jess, taking a look at race 6 a little bit later in the Hamiltonian Maturity, it was all about Jiggy Jog, but that's not how it played out, Paul.
No, Jiggy Jog was parked up front, and you know what? I mean, Jiggy Jog dances all of these dances against the boys, against Philly, shows up all the time. Got some separation in here, but MM's Dream, and there's that Dave Miller guy again, Purple Jesus, going to church with MM's Dream for Ron Burke, who knows how to get them prepared, and ran Jiggy Jog down. It's not like Jiggy Jog got short to me or anything. It's just MM's Dream ran her down late on the wire.
Yeah, pulling the upset over your heavy favorite, Jiggy Jog, Jessica and Gabe. This is a horse that I think has a lot of fans, Jiggy Jog, and a lot of people looking to watch her today, and yet it was MM's Dream with the best momentum late.
Jiggy Jog does have a lot of fans, and, you know, we talk a little bit, you know, week in and week out about running out of words to describe Jiggy Jog, but you cannot take anything away from the way MM's Dream raced tonight. No shoes. It was 1 1/8, and I think she needed every bit of that last eighth to get by Jiggy Jog.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's the thing to keep in mind. 99% of harness races are conducted, obviously, at the 1 mile distance. Was that extra eighth of a mile just enough to shorten up Jiggy Jog a little bit? Oddly enough, it was an 8-race win streak that she was riding into tonight, but take nothing away from the winner. MM's Dream, she was incredible. Oddly enough, just big money on the line in that race. Hamiltonian Maturity, 3 mares in the race. They finished 1, 2, 3.
It was a very nice Hamiltonian Maturity, 1 1/8. It goes to MM's Dream. Plenty of Indiana connections there that were happy. It is the nightcap here at the Big M, and here is Ken Workington with the call.
Your Dragon, 9-2 on the 2, Snoopy Snoop. On gate race 14, ready for start. Here they come. are off. Rojan's Way is out fast. It's Showtime blasting off our outside. How to Train Your Dragon and Concur. And Snoopy Snoop on the inside. Quickest of all into the first turn. Dexter Dunn and Snoopy Snoop going after him. Rojan's Way on the outside as they head to the quarter. Concur is going to settle in the pocket spot for now. It's Showtime is fourth on the outside past the quarter. Then it's How to Train Your Dragon, followed by Atlantis and Getaway. Another 2 lengths to Woodmere and Drolly and Born Unordinary and Just a Wrangler. 27 for the first quarter. Rojan's Way, and here comes pressure from It's Showtime on the outside, used hard. And jammed in is Snoopy Snoop, revved up, Fed Racetrack from third for Dexter Dunn as Concur shoots through on the inside fourth. At the half, How to Train Your Dragon is fifth. Then it's Atlantis on the inside, 6. Woodmere and Drolly gets underway. Then comes Getaway, and at the rear of the field, Born Unordinary and Just a Wrangler. 54 and 4, a stern half mile. Snoopy Snoop takes the lead. Snoopy Snoop, It's Showtime second. Concur left first over as they round the turn. Bit of a shuffle here for Rojan's Way. Now to the outside, How to Train Your Dragon second over. He's all set to come 3 wide. Gearing up is Atlanta right behind him. Looking for room is Getaway on the inside, stride for stride with Woodmere and Drolly, who stacks to the far outside as they try to swarm in on Snoopy Snoop, and they bunch up. 123 and 4 into the stretch, and they're mobbing Snoopy Snoop. Concur was first over. How to Train Your Dragon off that cover, and Woodmere and Drolly towers up late on the outside. It's Showtime of the rail and deep stretch. How to Train Your Dragon fighting on Snoopy Snoop on the inside. What an effort. Snoopy Snoop, How to Train Snoopy Snoop, then How to Train Your Dragon. Then it's Showtime, Concur, and Rojan's Way. Snoopy Snoop, 152 and 2.
Snoopy Snoop gets the job done. Dexter Dunn striking again here as he was very game to hold off How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, here you thought he was going to get swallowed up. The Snoop Dogg was done. Not really. He managed to gut it out. Looked like they were all getting a little slow. It was going to be who was going to get there first, and the wire just came up. But this horse has been okay. He won a couple of starts back in the Trackmaster group, had a tough trip and a 6 scratch, but got the job done over a How to Train Your Dragon who was out for a long time.
Jess and Gabe, not quite Hambletonian levels here, but Snoopy Snoop, How to Train Your Dragon, they were game to put on a show in the nightcap.
They did put on a show. There was plenty of action in that race, wasn't there, Gabe?
Yeah, it may not have been quite the horse flesh we've been used to seeing tonight in terms of class, but that was a great race. Lots of movement, lots of action. Really anyone's race, 30 for home.
And, of course, plenty of excitement on the night tonight. Who was a standout performance to you?
It's going to be the obvious one, the night answer, Jesper Confederate, but just so uber impressive winning that Meadowlands pace. You know, I like to try and take a stance against some favorites from time to time. I thought we could get him first up tonight, and I thought that could be enough to soften him up. It was not. He really stepped up and delivered an incredible performance.
And, you know, he just did it so easily. When I thought he had to come first over like that, I was a bit like you. I thought maybe, too quick, too soon, but he got it done.
Yeah, well, and the scary thing is there could be another gear or two in there, because I don't think we saw anywhere close to him being urged. I mean, that was just such an easy victory there. He's going to be a fun colt to continue to follow throughout the summer.
It really is going to be fun to continue to watch him because, of course, from here, they go to Lexington, they go to their Sire Stakes, they go to the Breeders' Crown. There's so much left ahead of them in this year.
Yeah, there really is. And, you know, the next thing we have to look forward to here, of course, the Hambletonian, which is 3 weeks from today.
Crazy.
Afternoon card there. That's going to be an incredible card, of course, highlighted by the $1 million Hambletonian, the $500,000 Hambletonian Oaks. We saw a lot of trotters in action tonight that are pointed towards that Saturday 3 weeks from today.
We did. We, of course, saw Well punch through finally in 2023. We saw Winner's Bet make it 2 for 2. Little disappointing on Air Power. Hopefully their connections will be able to get them to bounce back.
Yeah, the talent is there. It's just, you know, what's going on with him. He made that unfortunate break in stride tonight. You know, we'll see. I have all the confidence. Marcus Melander knows what he's doing, and he'll get him straightened around.
He definitely does. And, of course, those 2 Del Miller divisions as well. Acacia, Paul, who did you think tonight's star was?
I'm with you guys. I got to say Confederate. I thought he was very impressive in the Meadowlands pace. Just the way he kicked away from the rest of that field, Paul, beating some nice horses today.
Yeah, just the way he opened up on them and did it with ease against a group that is quality horses. And I think you got a lot to look forward to as the year goes on from him. He stamped himself as the top in the division. And you thought I was going to say Snoopy Snoop, didn't you?
You were waiting for it.
Yeah,
I was about to say all the bugs that were joining us on the set here today. I've been waving this program around to keep the desk clear. But that said, we appreciate you spending the evening with us. A lot of excitement that we saw this evening. As always, some terrific insight from Jess and Gabe, and from you, Paul, as well. Some fun performances, and it's always fun looking back on the likes of Bulldog Hanover. And these horses bring us such great memories and bring in such great fans.
And that's what it's truly all about on nights like this.
The next show that we'll be covering from the Meadowlands will be on Saturday, August 5th, live on Fox in the afternoon, 3 to 6 on Fox. You can tune in, as Gabe mentioned. Thanks so much for joining us this evening on our FS1 coverage of Meadowlands Pace Night. It was Confederate in the Meadowlands Pace with a big performance, kicking away from the rest of his competition. And in the William Houghton Memorial, a big upset. Charlie May getting the victory at 31-1. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Acacia Kamal. We'll see you next time on America's Day at the Races. Good night, everyone.